Hi, I thought we'd do a flip through of July and my A6 and kind of wrap up the month, even though we're already kind of into August because this video is very late. But I did make some small changes, so I thought it would be kind of fun to chat about it. I am also testing out a new layout or system, I guess, but don't be alarmed. This isn't one of those videos where we're in a new system every other week. I'm just troubleshooting for what I may need to do for next year should I decide to move away from hobonichi. I would like to have an alternative that I've properly tested out. Okay, let's get started. I think you've already seen these pages, so I don't want to spend too much time here. And yeah, I think I've already showed this as well. I did decorate these pages kind of to match that blue theme of the month, and honestly I hate the color. I don't use anything that's blue, so it really clashed with all my supplies, and I do lean towards more warm neutrals, so yeah, having blue on the page really annoyed me. This is here. I think I was just editing a video all day, and I also did some knitting. I will insert a photo of what I made for my nephew. I was watching Taskmaster season 7. Season 16 is one of my favorite seasons, and I've watched that like far too many times to count, but season 7 was quite decent. I do like how I decorated these two pages. Nothing else other than editing. This is kind of, I think, the last time I decorated, so basically it's all downhill from here. So I mainly just read. I was reading Everyone on This Train is a Suspect by Benjamin Stevenson at this point, which I really did enjoy. And yeah, I just have this little picture of Snoopy reading here. On to the next day. I think this was just a very meeting heavy work day, so nothing really interesting or much happened. I did use the Deco Rush tape here in the corner. I don't really love Deco Rush. It's kind of a learning curve to using it, but like it can be very easily messed up when you are rolling it, and like the entire tape roll can be ruined and come off the little mechanism, which is then virtually impossible to get all the tape back in. I don't know, it can be a mess. But yeah, this is from the Little Gift series a few years ago, so I just used that, and I think I have it down here as well, which makes me think I stuck that in here just to get rid of that design in order to get the little cat, which looks like it's also on a postage stamp. Okay, moving on. Here I just decided to draw the little Tamagotchi character that I had raised. This is Robachi, who I didn't raise before, so I just wanted to document him, and he's just so goofy. I don't really doodle in my book, so I just wanted to try it. I think I was just so over this page at this point because I did really want to use this picture that I found on Instagram. It's so cute, but the colors just was clashing too much and my brain just couldn't take it, so it looks incredibly depressing. And yeah, I think let's just move on. I may have to print that picture for a better spread, but yeah. So this, on the 11th, I finally ordered my TWSBI. So this was like on my wish list for, I don't know, about 2 years at this point, and it was finally in stock, and I decided, oh, just screw it, let me just get it and I can stop looking at it and wanting it. So yeah, I did place my order for my TWSBI, and then we move on to Angry Snoopy. Why? Oh, this was such a fail of a day. It was Tamagotchi Paradise launch day, and my bank literally screwed up the payment on my pre-order, thinking that it was a fraudulent transaction, and blocked it. So I was just fuming and on the phone with them, trying to get them to just stop doing it. Like, why must you interfere with my affairs? Just let me buy my Tamagotchi, leave me alone. So that was just such a fail. I was so irritated. Continued again on Sunday because yeah, it was a whole thing. God. I did stick in this meme that says this is where I'd put my paradise if I had one, which I felt that deep in my core. And yeah, I was really annoyed, so it seemed fitting for the day, and I was still fighting with the bank. But then on Monday, finally it was shipped and it was all good in the end. So yeah, I received my TWSBI on this day. I did leave out the space to print out the image of the pen, so just imagine that that's how the page would look with the picture of the pen. I probably at this point am never going to stick that in there, but that was the intention. I'm not loving the new fountain pen. It's not as smooth of a writer as the White Rose Gold, which was literally just perfection. It's definitely taken some getting used to, and I'm just not sure if I'm going to keep it. It is beautiful, and it's such a shame because I wanted it forever, but it's just not my favorite. So it's just not my favorite to write with. So yeah, still not decided. On 16th, I had more meetings. This is another character that I got for the first time, which is Mimiyorichi, who finally raised. So I drew her in, and I'm just realizing that I spelled her name wrong. So we're just gonna ignore that. Also, I am on generation 33 at this point, out of 100. So it's been a year running it and doing the 100 gen challenge. So it's progress, but still a long way to go. Finally, my Tamagotchi had arrived, and I just have some pictures of it and all of them together, which barely fit in my hand anymore. On to the weekend. This is just me binging TV. I watched Taskmaster season 19, which is the latest season, and that's always fun. I also started watching Shameless because that was on Netflix. I only got up to season 4, and that's because it was like the same stuff every season, and I was just not in it for the long haul. Also, Fiona is like insufferable at times, so not for me. Another Tamagotchi drawing, my beloved Pochichi, who I finally managed to raise on Paradise. He is like my favorite Tamagotchi character, I mean next to Mimichi, because she's adorable. I did want to have all 3 animations drawn out here, but I didn't space it out correctly, so I like had too little space. And I wanted to have the picture of Pochichi sleeping because it's so funny. But yeah, I just didn't plan enough space, but it's fine. He does look a little bit wonky here. I wasn't bothered. This is what marks the beginning of blank pages. I think from here on out, it's just like a week of just blank pages. So at this point, I was so over this book. The pen, the writing, the paper, like literally everything. So yeah, as you can see, blank pages. This was when I just have a sticker that I just have a picture that says currently soft launching my disappearance with like a little sad Snoopy because accurate. This is when the spiral continues. It was actually here when I started brainstorming plans for next year, because at this point I was so done with hobonichi, this crap paper, the pen that I wanted that now sucked. I was just not having it. So I was comparing prices of other brands and stuff, and hobonichi worked out to still be the cheapest for me ultimately, and that's including shipping and the import taxes. I also felt like I don't really want to be spending more money just on the sole principle of getting a different brand, because ultimately it is just paper and a book. I'd rather spend money on like my other hobbies instead. So I felt my options were very limited. Even the Kinball, which I was looking into, ended up costing more, especially because of the shipping. So yeah, this led me down to the standard TN route, since I have a brand new standard Travis notebook that is in storage, not used, and I thought I'd rather test that out before buying other things to test. Not like that I want to spend a lot of money on testing either. This would be the easiest for me since I have the product on hand. So I'll get into that a little bit later, but that's basically where I was at this point. Here I did place a Sunny Angel order, and I stuck in this little photo that I found of them wearing little pants. and they look really cute. So the 29th, this is just a very work heavy day. I didn't do much other than just my work, so I stuck in this photo just because I didn't have much to write, and yeah, that was that. More meetings, and I fell down a custom Sunny Angel rabbit hole where I saw people who were sticking on rhinestones on their Sunny Angels and absolutely loved it. So I have a picture of one of my favorites that I found, and I will do this one day. Okay, and then this just brings us to the last day of July. It was a big work achievement day for me, so I just stuck in these weird stickers because I just got them, and I don't care how it looks because at this point I'm just so done with July and I just literally did not care. Let's leave it at this page. Onto the passport. Okay, some pages I did fill out, so I'll just show them to you. Okay, so yeah, this is just the normal monthly page that I filled out. I did read the 2 books that I wanted, yeah, and I just filled in a recap kind of. I also went back in and filled out my thoughts now that I had the Tamagotchi Paradise. I filled in the margin with my thoughts now after playing it, as opposed to the information I already had was based on the announcement information that was released, and also out of all the characters that I would like to obtain on the device, I did just get Pachichi so far, so that's that. I think I also did book reviews. I did fill out the page on Everybody on This Train's a Suspect after I finished it, and I did enjoy this, so I rated that 5 out of 5 stars. And then I think I just have one last spread, yes, here, and that's because this is just one spread on Lisa Yook because of the K-drama that I was watching, and yes, of course, I had to do it. Now on to the experiment. So this is just the standard size traveler's notebook, and I think I'll just show you this page since I already have a photo of it on Instagram. I figured that there would be enough space to either have an entire page like of a daily entry, or I could split it up and have 2 per page. As you can see, this continues over. I still get more space than the hobonichi, so if we were to compare, this specific daily entry is just slightly more because I'm not counting the little boxes at the top. Those aren't really memory keeping aspects, so from here it is slightly over. Obviously this exceeds that space that's allocated, so you would get more space than the A6, and that's also because there is just more space on here compared to the A6, and that's just because the quotes take up so much space that you can't really write on here, so your size of writable space on the page is limited. And if we just compare that with the passport, just get a blank page, you can see that passport is still a lot more writing space than you are getting in your hobonichi. Also get to decorate and add things as I want. So like I get to add in as much as I want. So like here I crinkled the washi tape, which I would not do in the A6 because that's just adding additional bulk and you're carrying an entire year around. Whereas these insert you will be changing out fairly regularly, so the bulk wouldn't be as much of an issue over a period of a year. Overall, I think I just like the freedom of everything that this insert offered, especially that it was just blank space without any predetermined spaces. That I felt like I just needed this at the time, and I have been memory keeping the exact same way for like 3 years now in the same book with the same layout, and I just felt like I wanted something new. Another small change was the pictures that I print out. I just created a template, so now all my pictures I print are standardized across all my books, and that just makes it a little bit easier for me when I'm adding images and trying to print without having to fiddle and resize things and remembering which book that it goes in and what size would fit that book and its dimensions and that sort of thing. So while this has been fun and I am enjoying it, I am still backfilling August. And this is just because like the date stickers that I ordered, they arrived late, so I couldn't start like immediately when August began. So only when I am caught up on journaling and like doing it normally will I know if this will actually work for me. I am fearful that it may be an issue when I miss a day, like in my A6. If you were to miss a day, you have that designated space for it and you can just continue on and then always come back to that space that's already set for that day that's missed. Whereas here I'd have to leave out space and hope that the amount of space I've left out is sufficient. I could just be overthinking this at this point because, like I said, I didn't come across it yet, so I don't know and I'm still figuring it out. But that's something that I am conscious of. So yeah, I just need to continue troubleshooting and seeing if I can iron out any of the flaws within this that could arise before actually committing to it. And we still have quite a few months left in this year, so it should be enough time for me to play around before making a decision. I also calculated that I would need about 4 insets for a year, which is cheaper than Hobonichi. So the book does look a little bit more promising. The other 2 options which I have not yet tested would be the Stalogy grid notebook, but that is just a plain notebook with a grid. So basically the same thing like this, just that this is blank and that just has the grid. I don't know the grid spacing on that, I can't remember. The other is Midori, but I just didn't like the layout of their daily pages. You are getting 1 day per page, so you will have enough in one book for the entire year. But I don't know, they have like kind of this checklist on one side and then just blank space to just write in whatever on the other side. But I don't know, I just didn't like the layout from what I've seen. So those are the other 2 options that I've yet to test out. If this doesn't work, I still have those. I will probably have a better update for you at the end of August, seeing as I just started this and I'm still backfilling. The passport size will not be changing though, because this is still my catch-all that's not necessarily memory keeping, and I do make my own inserts, so I'll continue to do that. I'm not going to make inserts for the standard size though, because that's just too much effort and too much paper that's required, whereas this on a single A4 sheet I get 2 leaves for this book, so I use half the amount of paper, whereas this for the standard I'd have to use a lot more paper. Yeah, I don't think there are any other updates that I need to share. I've not been following the Hobonichi like daily teasers. I'm just not the type who needs ample time to decide what cover or collaboration I like. I generally know immediately upon seeing something whether I like it or not gonna get it. For August I just have Dracula that I'm reading, and I wanted to read All the Young Dudes, which is a Harry Potter fan fiction about the Marauders like when they were in school. Yeah, that's what I'm reading. That's the reading plans. For things to watch, I literally don't have anything on my watch list, so if you have any good binge-worthy programs, please send through recommendations. I hope my change in book does make sense and doesn't alienate anyone. Again, I'm not changing any book just yet. I am just testing and troubleshooting before I decide what to do, and committing to one layout for an entire year is a big commitment, and I'd rather not create or add any further waste or consumption in an already heavily consumer focused hobby. That I think wraps up everything that I needed to update you on. I hope this made sense. If you have any questions, as always, let me know, and I hope to see you again next time. Take care. Bye.